Join me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some marigolds. It's a part of our Flower of the Month series, and this is October's Flower of the Month. I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. This one's going to be a pretty easy one. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's been in chat during our live show tonight, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, so here's our Flowers of the Month to date. Next month, we're going to do the last two on the same day. So we're going to have an extra long session in November to get done with the November and December Flower of the Month. And that way we can leave December open for some more Christmassy type stuff. So we'll be doing a peony and a narcissus, which is very similar to the daffodils. For December, so next month. Look for that. And today we're going to be working on our marigolds. So let me step these aside. You can see we've done each one of them in a different color background. So next month the peonies are going to be pink. So we'll do some sort of a gray background for that one. And then for the narcissus, almost the daffodils. I'm not sure exactly yet, but something that'll go with the yellow, probably something along the same lines as this one, maybe a little bit of blue or something like that. So we're just kind of doing different backgrounds in different tones of gray that will hopefully kind of all sort of go together when we get them all finished. You zoom in there, hon. Happy birthday to Bob Ross. Bob Ross' birthday today. Had to pull out my magnet. Didn't expect that, did you?
Nobody expects Bob Ross.
Keep it coming there. All right. Let's do our colors here real quick. I've got burnt umber, quinacridone burnt orange, yellow oxide, Indian yellow hue, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo green yellow shade, phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue, Dioxazine Purple, Quinacridone Magenta, cadmium red medium, and cadmium orange. And then this one is unbleached titanium, titanium white, and some glazing liquid. If you don't have these exact colors, just use what you've got that's similar. I know quinacridone burnt orange is kind of a relatively new color that not everybody has. So if you don't have that one, you could use a burnt sienna, maybe with a little bit of quinacridone magenta. We're just going to be using it in some of our darker areas of our marigolds. So our brushes that we're going to be using are some Princeton brushes tonight. And I wanted to mention the canvas too. We're using a 5x5 inch gallery wrap canvas from Fredrix, the red label canvas. I like them because they've got the clean sides, so you can kind of set them right up on their edge. You don't even have to frame them. And then I've got the number 6 and number 4 Filberts. Not sure which one I'm going to use. Probably both, maybe. I don't know. In the background. And then for the flower and the vases themselves, I've got a number 2 round, 1/4 inch angle shader, 1/4 inch Willows blender, and a number 4 Filbert in the red velvet touch line. These ones are the 6100 series and the long green handles. And then we'll need a fan brush or toothbrush to splatter with at the end. All right, draw it really quick. I've already sketched it out ahead of time, but I'll kind of go over what I did. So I started at the top, kind of figured out where I wanted my vase to go. I wanted it to fill up this bottom half. The marigolds in our picture are actually pretty shallow in the bowl, so I raised them up just a little bit. I'm going to add some more flowers to fill it out a little bit more. So our bowl or our vase or whatever this is, kind of did 2 angled lines in and 2 angled lines going out like that, kind of right up and down from each other. And then this line is curved here. And then there's another curved line right below it. And then another curved line right here. And then this comes up and out past this line. So it kind of goes straight and then it goes out and up, and just try to keep them symmetrical. And you can draw this on paper and draw half of it and then fold your paper and trace the other half. And that way you know you've got it symmetrical if you want to do it that way. And this curves in like that. And then we've got a line that curves like this. Right here and right here. And then our center is going to be behind the flowers. So there's going to be kind of like a smushed oval right here at the opening. But most of this back here is not going to be showing. And the front part of it is also really not going to be showing. There's a kind of a ruffled edge, so if you want to do that, you can. I'm going to probably leave that part out. I'm not sure how much of it will be showing after we get our leaves and things going. So we're going to have leaves over, leaves, all in here, coming down, and then we've got a big old flower right here coming over the edge. I'm making them a little bit bigger than they are in our reference photo, and I'm going to bring some of the leaves out a little just to fill it out and give it a little bit of movement. I've got a little bud right here, another large flower up here, some greenery in between, and then a couple more flowers right here and right here coming out, overlapping a little bit. And then here, this is where I'm going to add one. I'm going to add one down here, like on this corner, and then another one up here. Right there. Okay. And then we'll have some greenery coming out on both sides in different places. All right. So that's our main drawing. I'm going to take my tissue and just damp tissue here. Just kind of gently tap off some of my drawing lines so that they're not so dark. Now, this is a water-soluble pencil that I've used, so that way we won't have to fight those lines too much. Oh, I forgot the handles. So the handles are coming up from this, just below this mark here where it starts to curve up. They curve in here and here, and then they round out and curve back down to just above this line right here on either side. All right, let's paint. I know I went over that pretty quick, but I'm trying to keep these down to an hour if we can on Tuesday nights, so going over it fairly quickly.
We're getting back in the rhythm for Oak Island.
Is it starting tonight?
Oh, I don't know. It might be. Let me check.
So I'm going to use kind of a sage green tonight, I think. I'm added brown and the phthalo green and a little bit of ultramarine blue. That'll make it a little bit more of a sage green instead of just a neutral green. And then I'm using the Unbleached Titanium because that's got a little bit of a yellow tint to it. I think that'll be a pretty gray green to use for our background here. I'm going to go ahead and go over my arms here. Drive carefully drawing them in. I'm just going to kind of paint around my vase here. All the areas that are going to be green, I'm just going to kind of tap in there because those are the areas that we may have some see-through parts showing. So I'm just going to go ahead and come in on those flowers quite a bit. Pretty. Get some white, add some white to them. There's my cat trying to get in. She's being a pain tonight.
So it looks like they may have moved it to Saturday.
Ooh, good.
So we're going to have to cancel the shows on Saturdays.
Probably be Saturday nights. We'll be fine.
Okay, we promise.
All right, so I'm just kind of slapping this on in different directions so that I'm getting some brush strokes movement here. Kind of showing. Our cat's trying to get in the studio, scratching at the door. She's not going to give up. You're going to have to,
Seriously.
yeah. Wait for it. I knew it. She's got lots to say. She wanted to be a part of the show tonight. She's like, you forgot me. No, I was out there, did you?
You accidentally threw me out of the room just before the show started.
So weird. It's lucky I knew how to scratch on the door there so you could let me in. Yeah, life with cats. All right, so I have no idea where my vase is at anymore. I'm going to have to just paint it all back in here. I'm just wondering why there's a line right there. Oh, that was greenery. Okay. I was thinking I did my vase wrong. Well, I was thinking that I was supposed to come in on that, but it was greenery. It's supposed to come down over the top. All right, quickly, I'm going to do the sides very quickly while I still have this color.
So while you're doing that, we'll quickly talk about the traceables.
Sure.
They're available on patreon.com/Angela Fine Art, all one word. For right now, the low price of $1 US per month.
Right.
But that gets you all the traceables all the way back to February 2017.
It surely does.
So if you're scared to draw, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the same way. Just go and you can download the traceables and paint away.
Using traceable is actually a pretty good way of working on your drawing. What you can do is have that traceable and do your drawing on paper, and then you set the traceable over the top, your traced image on a transparent piece of tracing paper. Set it over the top of your drawn image, then you can see kind of where, if you've gotten off, where those marks are. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to see that when you're learning to draw. It's kind of hard to see where you've gotten off track. And so if you have that traceable to kind of set over the top, and then you're also reinforcing the right way of drawing it by tracing it, and then you can always go back and try drawing it again the second time, and chances are you're going to have an easier time of it the second time. And the more that you do that, the more those kind of brain pathways will form. So even if you use traceable, doesn't mean that you can't work on your drawing if you choose to. And if you don't choose to, then just enjoy the painting and treat it like a, paint by number or something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how I started out learning. So, all right, let's, I think that's going to be fun. Different color for our little, I think that's going to work. That kind of odd sage green color. Let me clean that out. Set that aside. And grab my angle brush here and some of my Ultramarine Blue. I'm going to go ahead and just mix it in with this burnt umber that's over here. Alrighty. And some of that white. So this is going to be my shadow color on my vase. I'm going to go a little bit more blue than brown with it. So it's got a little bit of that blue tint to it. I'm going to use that to fill in my vase. You noticed I used a little bit of that darker color kind of underneath my vase too. I'm probably going to have to do that again because it didn't really go on very dark for me. But it kind of gives me an idea of where to start at least. I'm going to round off those corners just a little bit. And then that bottom is rounded. I'm going to get a little bit of that blue, a little bit of the phthalo blue. Use that for this middle part here.
You're awfully quiet.
No, I'm thinking.
You're thinking?
I'm thinking.
Are you thinking happy thoughts?
I am. I'm thinking that... Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking, honestly. I'm just thinking. Just trying to figure out how to paint this the way I want it to look tonight.
Well,
I'm just trying to decide if I should wait to do that blue until later. What were you going to say?
well, you started pretty well so far.
Oh, thanks.
You got the canvas, you got some paints and a brush, so those are 3 key elements to painting.
Yep, we're on the right track at least.
Yep.
It's kind of a weird shaped vase, and you can make it simple if you want to. I'm just going to do a rounded vase like we've done in the other ones too. If you don't want to do this more complicated one, I thought about doing that. I did that with 1 or 2 of the other ones in our series, but I just decided to go ahead and go for it tonight. Getting some of that white out. There we go. And if I put it on while it's kind of wet, it'll kind of mix a little bit with what's underneath and look going a little bit softer. Just look a little bit more impressionistic, which is what we're going for. Kind of putting on the paint sort of more thickly, a little bit more juicy than some other times. Get some of that darker color, use that down here. So we had a really fun show on Saturday. We had our biggest numbers ever.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I looked it up later. It was 615.
Really?
According to YouTube, yep. Which is like blew buyer of the record by over 100, almost. I think 500 was the most we'd ever done before that, and that was early last year or earlier this year. I can't remember when. I think it was, might have been the Rose or one of those. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm glad I didn't know at the time. Mark didn't tell me until afterwards, thankfully.
So what you're saying is that our following is mostly people that don't have a life?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
They're just sitting home, watching YouTube.
Don't know what you mean.
I mean, that's what I do.
That was kind of mean, huh? I don't think he meant it that way, but it sounded kind of mean. Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to me? Okay.
No.
We do really appreciate everybody that showed up, for sure. We accept everybody.
Like I said, I'm just glad I didn't know about it at the time, because I think I would have been freaked out.
There's a reason why I didn't say anything to you.
I've never spoken in front of 600 people in my life. But I did the other day, I guess.
Yes,
Didn't
you
know
did. Yeah.
I'm sure we don't have that many for this one. These ones aren't nearly as popular. But I appreciate those who came by to watch
Yeah, we got a lot of the unusual suspects with us tonight. Some first-time live watchers.
I'm worried you just offended all of them.
No.
Okay.
I got a lot of LOLs and crying faces and stuff.
Okay. All right.
They're a tough crowd.
Okay.
It takes more than that to scare them away.
Yeah. Mark's only saying that because he spends literally every night watching YouTube. So.
And if I'm not watching YouTube, I'm playing Xbox.
Exactly.
I'm a party animal. Yeah, exactly.
Cashmere.
Speaking of party animals.
What do you want, Cassie? She's just very talkative tonight. Lots to say about all of it. All right, doing some blue here. The handle. Up and back around. And blue. What you laughing at?
Darlene said, wow, Mark, eat a Snickers.
Yeah, exactly. Are you hangry or something? What's your deal?
And then somebody suggested that you shouldn't make me head of PR.
No, I'm not going to. Get a life, watch Angela Anderson. I don't think that's going to be our next slogan.
It's kind of catchy.
Okay.
And it's Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, he is a little weirder on Tuesdays. I'm sorry.
And when I woke up this morning
Never
at
quite know what's
4,
going to happen.
there was somebody that was up reading, not mentioning any names.
That was only because I could not get back to sleep. I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I was asleep by the time you left. I had been asleep already. I had slept early. I woke up. That's the thing with trying to get on a new schedule. I just don't do very well with it. All right, going through here, just adding blues and whites back and forth. Just trying to kind of make the transition here like kind of the same color as the vase. And I'm going to get some of this darker color here. I'm going to go right up underneath here. Oh, this is sort of dry.
So we're on number 11 of this series.
No, 10.
We're on number 10 of this series, as right as October.
Mm-hmm.
Have we reminded people lately how this came about, how this vision came?
Mm-mm. I don't remember what.
So we were at Crystal Bridges Museum.
Uh-huh.
And we saw an art installation where somebody had driven across the country and took pictures. Right?
Mm-mm. That's not why I did it, but that's okay. Sounds good. Go. Keep going. Keep going.
And
I remember the exhibit.
yeah. Okay. So obviously I have no idea why we're doing this. I'm just going to turn off my mic now. And you guys have a great evening. Thanks for joining us.
All right, going through here with brown. No, finish your story.
No?
Okay. Mark's being passive aggressive now.
I could have sworn this. I'm going back watching the first video right
Okay,
now.
do it.
So why are we doing this?
Because I thought it would be fun to do Flower of the Month. It would be a fun series to do on the smaller canvases. I was just looking for something to do on the small canvases that would be easy to do on Tuesday nights. And I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun. I had thought about doing it the year before, but I missed it. I missed the opportunity because I hadn't thought of it until this is our blues. So I'm just kind of mixed a little bit of both of them. Putting on pretty randomly, not really being super careful so that I'm getting kind of a broken line. And this one down here is a little bit wider. More blue here, a little bit of the Ultramarine Blue here. It's kind of done in stripes too, so I'm kind of trying to sort of mimic that look. All right, that's good enough, I think. We're not going super detailed on any of these vases, so if you've seen the other ones, they're pretty rudimentary. We're keeping it really easy, so I'm not going to go much farther than that. We'll put some highlights on, but I need to let it dry first. So I'm going to get some green here. And get some of my gray. A little bit of brown. This green's fairly bright though, so on these I do want to have some of a darker green, so I'm going to go ahead and do that color that was the background color, but do it without the white. So have like that darker version of this color for greenery. That'll kind of tie it all in together. I'm going to use my Filbert here, and I'm just going to kind of randomly dab on some leaves. Press that brush flat. I wanted to get a thinner line there. There we go. And they kind of have that little, almost like a fern shape to them. Cashmere, shh, you're being loud, be quiet. We've lost Mark.
Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat here.
In the what?
In the chat. This a Filbert, you said?
Mm-hmm. Putting some different little leafy things in and around my flowers there. It's going to be kind of a backdrop for the rest of those flowers. And I want to mostly fill it in. I'm not completely filling it in, but make sure that all of the flowers have a stem or a leaf around them. I'm going to get that Quinacridone Burnt Orange and some yellow oxide here. Use it for my bud there. And there's another bud. I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. Cashmere. Shush. Get Spencer to be on kitty duty, maybe. Some green. And actually the stems are fairly thick, so these are kind of thick, but it works. And I can go ahead and I'm going to use some of the background color to kind of fill in around there on that one. Okay. Getting some yellow, adding it to that original color there. A little bit of white. And just going to dab in some highlights here and there. There we go. Got some Cadmium Red Light and some Quinacridone, or some Cadmium Orange here. I'm going to use that for the background of some of my flowers. I'm just going to dab kind of in a circle. Their edges are roughly and rough, so I'm just going to kind of dab it, pull towards the center. What you doing, hon?
I'm looking for that first video. Let's see if I'm right.
Okay. Good plan. It's a great, great show. The sound of silence.
So you would rather me sing
I don't know.
The Sound of Silence?
Getting some Quinacridone Magenta, mixing that with the Quinacridone Burnt Orange here, and going around the outside of my flower. There we go. So these ones are going to be more orange. Really, you can do any number of colors on these because there's, you know, anywhere from yellow to orangey red, dark orangey red on these marigolds. They've got all kinds of different colors in them, so, or they come in all kinds of different colors. So. Getting the Indian yellow here. Okay. They already have that kind of marigold feeling just by having that kind of fuzzy edges.
So it's interesting that the background is all, or the base color for all those is the same. And that's just because you're going to layer the lighter colors on top, obviously.
Right. Yep. Getting some yellow here, and I'm just going to dab it in. I'm going to mix with that color, kind of create that kind of blendy look on those. Get some more of that yellow. Added a little bit of yellow, Indian yellow, yellow, and I still had those other colors on my brush, so it's kind of mixed with them a little bit. And white. I'm going to do this one on top of this one because it's in front. So I'm just going to pull in from the outside and just dab. Oops. And I can get some of that darker color and dab it in some places too to get that light darker. Look, this is really working pretty well with just the dabbing, so I think I'm just going to keep on doing that. My brush nice and thick with paint. And just pull it in from the outside. And create that kind of illusion of petals. And then right here where they're kind of poking out at us, we're just dabbing. Do a little bit more right here. Kind of fun. So let's do it again. These ones are a little bit smaller back here. Get a little bit of that orange. So I have a little bit of that in my brush too.
I don't think you've been using enough Bob Ross-isms in celebration of his birthday.
Do I need to? We'll put a pretty little petal right here.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a friend.
See, there you go.
Give him a friend right there. Maybe he lives right here. Okay.
Now we just need to get you a pet squirrel.
Cashmere's like, what? She liked that idea. She's like, cool, squirrel. I like squirrels. She'd be so scared of squirrel. She's like, huh? It's like she's talking back. Would not. Okay, get some of that cadmium yellow. Trying to get some. There we go. Just not wanting to stick right there, so I'm going to have to come back to that once it's dry.
Okay, so what is that blank spot going to be?
What blanks? Oh, that was going to be another flower. Thank you. I forgot to put it in.
It's like it looks too big for it to have been lifted off, so.
No, I just forgot to start it. Okay, set into down. Kind of using a light touch here and just sort of set it down and pulling in towards the center a little bit. And then dabbing. So pulling, setting it down, pulling in towards the center. Dabbing the center a little bit. They're very similar to the way the carnations were done almost. You know, they have that same kind of structure. A lot of frills, a lot of petals kind of overlapping, but no really discernible pattern necessarily.
So you're so you're just really loading your brush and just tapping, barely tapping the canvas.
Yeah, it's pretty fun actually. It's pretty easy. Get a little bit of that orange there. Put that one top of this one. Get some of that really dark, so I got some, there we go. Some really dark centers in some of these.
So they commented that flowers live on the end of your brush.
Who did? Somebody did?
Elizabeth, yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. I did do that flower brush video last year. It was one of my favorites. Okay, just using the edge of my brush now. Just kind of creating some little bitties in there. That white may be a little bit bright, but we'll see.
So do you have any tips on how to paint a little looser and more painterly?
Well, you can see how I'm kind of holding it farther back. That for me is the key, because when I'm holding it really close, I can't paint as loosely. If I'm holding it farther back, it kind of forces you to lighten up your brush strokes and kind of get them on there loosely. What?
I was trying to show the side cam so they could see how far back on the handle you were holding the brush.
What happened?
And then I zoomed the wrong way.
Oh. You zoomed out.
I zoomed in instead of zooming out, so get a wider angle there.
Okay. Some of the orange here. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of covering up on my dark here. Need to put some of that dark back in there.
I find that holding it with the brush with my toes gives it a much more painterly feeling to it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Your toes. Okay.
If they want to see my video on that, it's on Patreon. The row houses.
Mm-hmm. Did you do that with your toes?
Of course. I caught a lot of flack for that. But I had a glove, I think, on my foot.
No comment. All right, let's let that set, and then I'm gonna look at it with as they say, fresh eyes. Actually, let me do a little bit in here. It also kind of reminds me of zinnias a little bit, but not quite. All right, I'm going to use the white. Maybe a little bit of glazing liquid. You can use Zinc White if you have it. I'm going to show some highlight across there. Some highlight on there, a little bit on my edge of the vase there. Get some of that darker gray. Just make sure I have some of that darker color right there where it curves down into the base. Okay, and then get some ultramarine blue, put some right there. Get a shadow right there of that ultramarine, right up under. Nice and dark right there. And then there's a little bit of that darker color there too. And I feel like this needs to come out a little bit more. So let's do our darker color underneath where our shadow's going to be, and then be about done. Get that dark green that we used up here. Remember that was the background color. Adding a little bit more brown to it. I'm going to use a glazing liquid. Our light's coming from here, so we'll put it off to the side. I haven't been very good about paying attention to that, and some of the other ones are going in the wrong direction. Oops. But just use a wet towel and just kind of wipe off those edges, blend them out a little bit. And then you just want it darkest right here. Use a little bit of this color up in here. On our vase itself. It's good to use the background color to influence the shadows in our white crockery or anything white. It's going to pick up the colors around it. Almost like a mirror. I'm going to use that white plus the green there to do some of the edge thing. There we go. All right, we can put out some brighter cadmium yellow one more time. Get a cashmere, stop.
Just don't acknowledge her. She might go away.
Try not to let the cadmium dry my hands. It's supposed to be non-toxic, but not one that I want to seep in my skin. All right. So just kind of using the edge of my brush here just to throw in some brighter yellow highlights, just the corner of it. There we go. Make sure you leave lots of those, the dark color still showing. That'll really pop those forward. some of that light orange red color and popping that in a couple places if you need it. You might not. This one I'm not really happy with there, so I'm trying to see what I need to do to it. I'm just gonna put some highlight flowers kind of in petals or in front. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna stop there. I'll sign it. Oh, yeah, let me sign it first. Then I'll sprinkle it with splatter it. I'm gonna use my white and my burnt umber. You can leave this part out if you're not into the splatters.
Will we still be their friend?
I don't know. It's questionable.
Okay.
This is a little suspicious of people that don't like splatters, but
I don't think the splatters will be traceable, though.
don't think it's a deal breaker. No, they're not on the traceable. Burnt umber here.
So what did you use there to sign your painting?
I used my Pigma Sakura pen, FB fine brush pen.
There's links to those in the Amazon store.
Yep,
Down
there
below.
is. There sure is. And the thing with splatters that, I don't know, people get kind of scared of them, but the main thing is to add lots of water, add a little glazing liquid just so that it's gonna stick to your canvas, and you can dab it off afterwards. You can always get off any of these that are too prominent, like if you have them on your face and you don't like it there, you can dab them off while they're wet. Just make sure your paint underneath is dry, and practice on your paper. You know, the more water you have, the bigger your droplets are going to be, so keep that in mind. But you do need them, you know, watery enough though that they'll come off on your canvas. But I usually just hold it about 4 inches above, 4 to 6 inches above, and just tap with my fan brush, of course, and they just come right off onto the canvas. So, like I said, you could practice on paper or something like that if you haven't had good luck with them in the past. Let's go and stick them all out here and see what they look like with our new addition. And I kind of like that bright orange color. It's kind of new to the pool. Got a little bit of the orange in this one, and just slightly tones of it in some of these other ones, but not a whole lot. So there we go. Cute. I like it. I like that green too. It's pretty. I wish I'd done some of these with a little bit more color. These first couple, you know, I ended up not using a lot of color on them before I realized what I wanted to do. But yeah, so I hope you try it. If you do, you can share it with me on social media. I'd love to see it. And let me push that up. So there we go. You can tag me or whatever. I've got all the links to my social media down in the description. where you can see that. And yeah, we've got that traceable that we talked about earlier. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. When you do subscribe, if you want to get notification of my new videos, you can click the little bell icon that's next to the subscribe button. And I would suggest you do that if you do like our videos and want to kind of keep up with what we're doing. We do videos twice a week on YouTube, normal months. And YouTube doesn't always suggest the videos that we're doing unless you've watched them recently. So if you want to make sure that you continue to watch them or get notifications, make sure that you do that. Also, we're going to be doing I'm going to be giving away a link to one of my old bonus videos, which was the Mandarin duck, which I don't have it because it's packed away right now. We're still going through renovations. But it was really nice, realistic Mandarin duck that we did a couple years ago. We're going to be giving that to everyone that signs up to our newsletter on my thankfulart.com website. So if you want to put the link up to that, hon. It's on the website. You go down to the bottom. It says newsletter. Yep, there we go. And it'll let you sign up for our newsletter there. And then probably in another week or so, we'll have that link going out to everybody. And we'll have a link that you can go and sign up specifically for that free video.
Yeah. I got two questions.
Sure.
So first with the link, is that a limited time offer?
No.
So it's next year if they come in and they sign up? Okay.
Yes. We're going to have that link up all the time. It's going to be a new thing that's on our website. So when you go to the website, it'll be one of the first things that pops up. It'll say, do you want a free video? Access to a free bonus video. That was the $5 level video that we did last year. We did it last fall. And it was like almost 4 hour video. So it's really detailed with that Mandarin duck. So
And,
anyhow, so if you sign up now, you'll get the newsletter one way or the other. If you're already in part of our newsletter, you're still going to get that. So yeah, it's just kind of a bonus so that we can have email addresses, because we have been sending out a newsletter once a week. And we've got all kinds of information in there that for our subscribers that we don't share anywhere else. So it's pretty helpful. And then that way we can communicate with you directly, and we don't have to go through YouTube to communicate with our subscribers. That's the main goal, is just to be able to communicate with y'all directly. So
and a second question is,
Yes.
so wanted to know, where could they get these small canvases?
I think you can order them online. And I think I have a link to them on my Amazon store too. I found them on Amazon. So there was a link there, and then there's all kinds of different art supply stores online. And I believe you might be, I'm not sure if Michael's carries them anymore, but I know they used to carry Fredrix. I'm not sure if they do anymore, but anyhow, and we're going to go feed our cat.
And so on Saturday we're painting.
Saturday we are painting. Oh, we're painting a really cool autumn leaves. If you put up the Saturday video there instead of the
Saturday video.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Saturday video.
Okay, on here. Up there. You should be able to click on. It'll show what we're doing,
Saturday, you mean?
Yeah. Oops. Okay. Pull it over. I can see it. There you go. There it is. So.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to that one. Next week is our leaves week. Next Tuesday we're doing leaves as well, but we're doing really easy, like super simple, splotchy leaves. So this one will be more realistic.
Nice.
So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. And we got done in an hour. Very nice. So I've got my new on my website and on Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff. We've got our new schedule out for November. So if you want to see what we're painting and what we're doing for our Patreon bonus videos and things like that, it's actually on Patreon too, patreon.com/AngelaFineArt, and Thankful Art on Instagram. So anyhow, you can check that out if you want to see what we're going to be painting. All right. Or you can go to my name, click on my name or photo, and it'll take you to my channel homepage too, and you can see the scheduled events, but that doesn't include the Patreon ones. So if you want to see all of them, you got to go to Patreon. All right. We're getting off of here so we can have a great evening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.